discuss a new topic, and this topic is very important from their life, and this is called culture. What is culture? Any idea? Any idea about culture?
Traditions.
Tradition.
There are some kinds of traditions and rituals that the people of a place have been celebrating from ancient times.
Yes, it is some kinds of festivals, activities, all these type of things, which is traditionally celebrated or followed by the society. And in our day-to-day life, the culture has a very prominent role. Actually, our behavior is molded by the culture. We learn from the culture. Our behavior is developed, and today we will discuss about those things. First, the concept of culture. What is culture? There are different concepts regarding the culture, and even in case of our perception, the meaning of culture is also different. But theoretically, we should know what is culture and how it affects our day-to-day life, our social life, our behavior, all this type of thing. First, we just mention these things. Out of this, painting, sculpture, music, poetry. Is it culture or which is culture? Belongs to culture. Answer is ritual. All these things belongs to culture, but a small part of culture. Actually, the term culture is a very broad term, and it is therefore very important to discuss all these things clearly. There are different definitions of culture. According to Taylor, who gave the definition in 1871, culture is that complex whole which includes knowledge, belief, art, morals, law, customs, and any other capabilities and habits acquired by man as a member of society. That means in culture there are so many things. It is a complex which includes knowledge, our beliefs, different types of arts, morals, law, customs, or any other capabilities or habits acquired by man as a member of the society. You can develop some capabilities as an individual. That is not culture. But as a member of the society, if you develop some capabilities or habits, then it is a part of culture. When you will do something for society, then it is culture, because you follow the beliefs, morals, law, customs, all the things of the society. So the culture, it includes so many things and which are related with the society. And remember these things: beliefs, art, morals, law, customs, all these type of things I will discuss. According to Kuber in 1968, culture is the continually changing pattern of learned behavior and the products of learned behavior, which includes attitudes, values, knowledge, and material objects, which are shared by and transmitted among the members of the society. At the beginning of the class, some students mentioned about that what we are followed traditionally. That is the things transmitted among the members of the society. Traditionally, we are practicing those things, and from one generation to next generation, we transmitted those things among the members of the society. It is not that whatever we acquired, followed in our society is transmitted to another society. It is belongs to a particular society, particular community. That is why culture is different from community to community, society to society. And here it is continually changing pattern of learned behavior. That means culture is continuously changing, and it is a learned behavior. That means from the society we learn about the behavior, how to behave with different activities, with different people, all this type of thing. And this learned behavior is changing continuously. And because of this learned behavior and changing pattern of this learned behavior, some different types of learned behavior also develop from time to time, because it is dynamic, and because of this dynamic nature of the culture, our learned behavior also changing. So at different time, our behavior is also changing. For example, during our forefathers period, what was the attitude, values, knowledge, and at present, what is our attitude, values, and knowledge or material object, though we are in the same society or same community. Clear? What is material object? Initially, our forefathers, they use earthen pot, all these type of things. And present, what we are using? What is our material object? What type of material object we are using? These are changing. these are changing over time, and because of that, the time to time, because of the learned behavior which is continuously changing, all these things are different. The attitude, what is the attitude of the people at the time of suppose independence, and what is the attitude of the people at present? There is a vast difference. All these things are because of the continuously changing pattern of learned behavior, and this is called culture. Culture is an organization of pattern of behavior, object, ideas, sentiment. It is a combination of behavior, object, ideas, or sentiment. At different times, these are different, both cultivated and inherited throughout and behavior. Because in some cases, because of the continuous changing pattern and interaction with our own people, we inherited some thoughts and behavior. At present also, in our culture, in case of you also, if you think that some of your thoughts and behaviors are related with your inherited pattern. Without any justification, you inherited those things and follow those things and behave in that way. Is not it? And in some cases, because of the new knowledge, influence of other society, because of all these type of things, our behavior is changed. That is cultivated. Because of external force, our behavior is set, and in some cases or in maximum cases, this is inherited, internal. Without any thinking, without any rationale, we are following those things, and because of that, the culture is both cultivated as well as inherited thoughts and behavior. Culture is a pattern of explicit and implicit behavior. What is explicit and what is implicit? The explicit part is the external and implicit is the our traditional internal. So in case of cultural behavior as well as internal behavior, both are combined. Due to changing nature of culture, it is a continuously changing, and because of that, our different aspect, material aspect, all these type of things are changing. These are because of the external effect. And in case of implicit behavior, which is inherited traditionally, it is not influenced by any external force. And both implicit and explicit behavior, these are combinedly called as culture. And in case of implicit also, it is not that since it is traditional, it is only the beliefs. Even our dress, even our different material possesses, the housing pattern, all this type of thing, we maintain a traditional concept, and in some cases we maintain the present day context because of the changing nature of the culture, and both these combinedly called as culture, both external as well as traditional. It is a sum total of ways of how human beings live in a society, ultimately because of all these type of things, the behavior, object, ideas, sentiments, all these things we are following. The behavior which is cultivated or inherited, the behavior which is explicit or implicit, all this combination, this is called as culture. It is a combination of so many things. It is not that our culture is always traditional in nature. For example, even in case of, if you recall Bihu song or Bihu dance, you see, if you listen the Bihu song of the old one, their tone is different, the language is different, and at present the modern Bihu song, the lyrics is different, then the music is different, all these type of things, and this is the same, but both are called as Bihu song. So in this way, there is a changing. In sometimes it is changed over time, or sometimes it is not changed over time. And in which society the culture is not changed over time, that society is very, very orthodox, and it is very difficult to develop that type of society. We discuss different definitions. There are so many definitions, and if we analyze all the definitions, then we will find some key elements of the definition. A learned behavior through both formal and informal way. Remember these things. Learned behavior. Culture is a learned behavior, changing continuously and transmitted from one generation to another generation. This is the simplest definition. It is a product of learned behavior. Because of changing behavior, because of learned behavior, our nature is changing, and all these things are included in our culture. It may be attitude, values, knowledge, all this type of thing. Material object. Earlier you see in our village all the housing pattern. What type of materials we are using for construction of house in rural areas, and at present what type of materials we are using for construction of house in village areas. But though there is a changing pattern from earth and space, bamboo, all these type of things to concrete one, but the culture is not same. The society, they still maintain the culture, but because of the time, since it is a continuously changing pattern, so there is a change in use of material object. Earlier we are not using television, fridge, all these type of things, and now we are using these things. When we are using fridge, television, all these type of things, can we call that our culture is sense shared by members of the society? When we learn something because of the culture, and it is always shared from members to members within the society. Learned behavior which is transmitted from one generation to another generation. And if we do not transfer or share the culture from one member to another member, then it is not culture. It is transmitted among the members of the society. And because of that, since culture is transmitted from members of the society, because of that, the society maintain a culture, and it is an identity of that particular society, and culture is continuously changing. From these key elements, if we summarize in one sentence what we can say about culture, and in one sentence now you define culture. I discussed different definition, and from all the definition some key elements are isolated, and from those key elements can you define culture in one sentence? Culture is a continuously changing learned behavior, learned pattern of behavior which is transmitted over time from among the members of the society. Clear? It is a pattern of learned behavior. It is continuously changing, transmitted from one generation to another generation, and shared by the members of the society. And this is the main meaning of culture. Already I discussed this one. Main characteristics which are derived from those definitions. It is a learned, transmitted, and shared. It is a gratifying. Culture is adaptive. That means from one culture, and some other culture is deduced from another societies, or sometimes it is adjusted within the society, so it is adaptive. It is integrative. Culture is integral part of your society. Culture tends to build ideals for conformity. The culture is the main thing which builds the ideals of conformity. If you do not follow the culture, then you can't say that I am belongs to that culture. Culture is our identity. Culture is an abstraction of the basic reality of man, our behavior and our products. Whatever behavior we are showing, all these things are based on our culture. Culture to culture, the behavior of human beings are different. And in case of products also, culture to culture, the products are different. Our food habits are different. It is because of our culture. Our dress material is different. It is because of our culture. Our behavior is different. It is because of our culture. All this type of thing. You see, in some community, when a junior person meet a senior one, immediately he or she touch the feet of those senior person, isn't it? It is but in our culture, Assamese culture, when you do this type of thing, in general, day-to-day life, no. Generally, we touch the feet of our parents or seniors at the time of marriage. But in case of some other communities, it is a very common thing. Every day they touch the feet of the senior. It is a very common for them. And when you live in that particular society or culture, then those people, they found that what type of man he is. He don't do the behavior, but you are following your culture, not their culture, because a person never change their culture. Always control our behavior is controlled by our culture. This is the most important part. And if you leave your culture, then you have no root, no identity. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And this is the main point of culture. Entire human behavior, then activities, all these type of things are controlled by our culture. So culture is the strongest point in our society, and actually we follow culture, we are controlled by culture, and without culture, man can't live in a particular society.